All right, for starters, welcome to the channel. Another episode of Across the Board. Like and subscribe. Hit that like button. The thumbs up right there on the bottom. Hit that, please. But today we have some beautiful, beautiful guests here.
Thank you.
I said guests, man. We know you. How y'all feeling? Good. Good. We got a familiar face over here. All right. Word.
She's so brave. She's so brave.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we rocking. What's good with you?
Oh man, you know, it's the grind as usual, but I just wanted to just say thank you everybody that's decided to share some time with us and you know, have some fun with it. I know everybody got a busy schedule, so we're gonna get straight to it. You know?
Yeah. So like I started off, I said we got some beautiful people here on the panel. I just got a question. Starting over here with Alycia. When did you know that your looks can get you privileges?
Wait, first of all, who said that my looks got me privileges?
I said we have beautiful people on the panel.
But it's good that you know that, right? Because once you know that, you know, that's the ticket. But, you know, doesn't mean that you always have to use it. It's just good to know that you have it.
So when did you know?
I knew this very early on, you know, when the first guy said, hey, how you doing? Checking for you. You beautiful, you this, you that. So I was like, oh, okay, look at me.
Okay. All right, cool. So early on, my man Omar.
I don't think looks get me privileges, to tell you the truth. Really, I think it was always like my height that got me privileges.
Okay.
It was always a
Intimidation.
Not even intimidation, just people just respond to you different.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you get that on top shelf, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it.
Everything else, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, I'm fucking with you. All right, Toya.
Yeah, I feel like I noticed it like early on in high school, like you were saying, like getting compliments and things like that, and like men like saying things to you, oh, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, blah blah blah. So yeah, understanding that you have it and not being cocky about it.
Okay, humble. All right. Going up goes man.
I think mine looked different. Like middle school and high school growing up, I didn't have that experience until college. I started to go to auditions.
Okay.
And so watching how directors change things around, like, oh, you smile big, that's great, so we can use you for this. And so that's when I started to realize that looks had a whole different issue than like skin color. And so now, the more that I do things, people are looking at the looks, and we want you because you look this way.
Okay.
So now that I'm, you know, I was at high school, like age 20 on.
Okay.
Really realize it.
All right. So now, when you realized that, did you like go for certain parts, knowing your look would help you?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So outside of that field, did it help you in other ways, as far as like, I don't know, going to the club or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Tell us more.
Like, well, yeah, you didn't dress a certain way. You know, I could watch girls walk up and try to get in, and then they're like, oh, no. But then me and my girls walk up, they're like, oh, yeah, y'all are in. You don't have to pay, you don't have to do anything. Just go ahead.
All right, humble brag. All right. Okay.
I mean, that was standing shit, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, as a handsome fella, I mean, you bloodline, you already know how that go. But that's neither here nor there. The privileges, like you said, the double standard thing. Like, have your looks ever helped you get into a party?
I think yes. I do have. I could say that I got lucky once in a blue. I'm not going to say that it's all 100 grand thing. Not at all. I think in a male perspective, we use our charm and our personality to get by or get away with certain stuff. And I think I was in with ladies, you know, the beautiful smile, the features, and the assets get them to get what they want.
Yeah.
Not necessarily all the time, but it helps. Like, you know, I think it's funny because we put the stereotype, you know, when we watch TV, and when a woman get pulled over, and what's the first thing she do? Perk it up, you know what I mean? Get the booze ready, you know what I mean? And the next day the cop was like, damn, forget it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, when I see those situations, I always wanted to ask, like, you know, as all beautiful, you know, it's a black people panel, all our beautiful black people, you know, do we take advantage of those features? Because we should. And if it's if it right to our benefit in regards of jobs, clubs, or just being a part of that in crowd, I think people do that a lot. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I just think that there's a certain balance in between, because it could also be a default as well, because now people rely on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the bad part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because now that's all you have, and people look at you like, no, there's more qualities between that.
Right.
So that's why we brought that question up, because, you know, we all well established, educated, and, you know, doing great things in our lives, but at the same time, we beautiful black people. So, you know, when we popped that up, you know, I was curious about that. So, you know, that's just me.
I wanted to say, you know, I think it's a distinction between, you know, knowing that you have it and knowing when you can manipulate it. Right. Because you can acknowledge it, and yes, it's powerful, you know, when you're young, self-esteem is great, you know, but it's like when you've been manipulated by it, like, oh, this guy said you were cute, but then he said that to 5 other girls.
Don't lie to me, bitch, I'm not cute.
You're like, well, how valid is his comment about me? So, you know, with that, it's, you know, can you use it to your advantage, as opposed to, okay, if I have a bright smile and I have a good energy, I can get that job on the interview, you know. But I think it's where you are kind of emotionally with it. Once you identify, you know, if someone is giving you a compliment or something, all right, you know, and do I feel like this is genuine, or do I feel like this person is trying to get something out of me, you know? And where you are on that spectrum of if somebody did that to manipulate you or if they were genuine will kind of determine where you go with that, you know, because I think a lot of men manipulate that sometimes, you know, with the charm, you know, they say, oh, you're distinguished, you dress a certain way, you talk a certain way, you know, you'll get by. You know, I've seen that a lot in my work environment. A lot of men use that to camouflage them not being able to do the job. You know, it's like, oh, you can just do that for me. You know, I'm like, no, you need to do your job. But, you know, I've seen that a lot. So it can work for you, and then it can, you know, definitely defend your character.
Yeah. I think for like men, I think, at least for me, I had to really like enhance my personality and really like put that out on Front Street to kind of, you know, show like, yeah, you know, they say I'm handsome, whatever case may be.
Cause you're not that cute.
But it's like, all right, I gotta do a little bit more. I gotta dress a certain way to stand out. I gotta make people laugh. Like, I just feel like I gotta do the extra. And then I've also been that insecure guy in the corner where it's like, dang, shorty just laughing at all the corny jokes and they all on her. They let her get away with everything. But then I realized, okay, you know, she's a woman, she's pretty, whatever the case may be. But then now, my age now, I realized that at the end of the day, if you don't have the brain behind it, me personally, I wouldn't allow you to get by with certain things, you know what I'm saying? But I see how it still works on some ignorant people. Like you said, like guys might still try to manipulate or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I personally haven't tried to take advantage of it.
Bald-headed lies.
Because
I think we all have. I mean, just to be honest, I mean, you know, it's just who you are. You know what I'm saying? It's not that you're a bad person for doing it. It's just like, shit hit the fan. Oh shit, let me smooth things over by using my charm, using my looks. And then it
probably wasn't on purpose though.
But you know, because it's like good qualities. It is, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All my good qualities, you know, and I'm gonna use that to my advantage as best as I can.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think, you know, it's really identifying where your limitations are, knowing that, you know, and then how is that being manipulated, right? Like, I don't think, you know, having a good character is a bad, you know, exchange if you're not so great looking. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, that's a healthy balance, but it depends on that individual and them knowing, you know, where they are in that. Like, am I cute? Am I ugly? You know,
You know, my whole life I suspected I was ugly. But I never really knew. I never had proof.
And also, too, it's just embracing uniqueness. You know, like, everyone is different, you know, and everybody has different qualities about them that make them good. You know, I don't think I would value just somebody looking good. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we in a place every single person we see is like drop dead gorgeous. You're like, this is all too fake. This is, you know, so, you know, like, you learn how to kind of identify, you know, the positives of that, so you're not kind of focused on it can be a negative to manipulate. Because you know, you got it.
Yeah, nah, you're right. Yo, Omar, have you ever just dated a chick strictly off her charm, personality, or whatever? Like, if you've seen her, you're like, oh, man, she ain't really my type, but no. Okay, that's real.
Just charm and personality.
Yeah. Okay, that's real.
That's real.
So does that mean that she has to be good looking? That's how you would even exchange, right? If
Yeah, I mean,
she didn't look good, you wouldn't.
Of course not. But we all, the thing is, like, we all kind of use it, but we're all, like, susceptible to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like being around good-looking people, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's the truth. You see people at certain jobs and certain positions, right? A lot of the higher-ups, like, you got to stay fit. You got to present yourself a certain way. You can't just be coming in anywhere looking sloppy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, how you look, how you present yourself, whether it's me being tall, because that shit happens all the time with me. Like, how tall are you? Same, I get that question every day. And I know that it works, right? But, you know, like you were saying, you can't, like, take advantage of it. You can't always manipulate. Sometimes I use it, but, you know, I don't do it as much.
You just can't help it. You know.
Yeah, a lot of times.
My kid, you know, he's 3, he goes to school, and he's got teachers that are female. And I go in, and I don't care how bright and bubbly and nice and polite I am, you know, it's still. But big daddy come in, he says, he, you know, show stop, everything. Oh, we bow down to, and it's like,
why? But why is it like that? You think?
But I think sometimes it's that charisma, right? That comes with, you know, someone who's rocking that confidence, right? And it's not because he's saying, oh, boom, this is who I am, but that's just your body represents. You're 6'4", you're tall, you know, everybody's gonna see you above everybody else. So it's just some things he just can't get away from, you know. But, you know, again, it's acknowledging what you have, you know, and knowing, you know, how far that manipulation can go. Like a beautiful girl. She knows how far that manipulation could go, you know. That's just, you know, you have to be aware of all of that so you don't get caught up in that.
Do y'all think that plays in a factor of other people hating on each other because they know how far another person can manipulate a situation just out of their charms or their look? Because you know how you could be in a party or whatever the case may be, and you'll see somebody in the corner just staring, just hating, just.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
Like, look at this nigga here. Like, what? And then I'll see it and I'll just walk by cheesing like, yeah, you see me. And I'm dancing with you that you try.
Based on assumption, I'm assuming you big, you tall, you good looking, so a whole lot of girls like you. You know, you get a whole lot of attention. It's not hard. You don't got to work hard to get what you want. So that's just the assumption. Now, you couldn't have said anything out of your mouth. This is just me seeing you. You know.
Do you think his teachers are like that with you? You think they just assuming that's why they give you that?
I ain't going in there like, you know, I just woke up, you know. I'm looking like I'm going to work, you know. I'm trying to look decent, but that's not my intention. It's not to, you know, I want to look decent and I like to be around someone who is decent like that too. So sometimes that's just their energy and where they are. So I'm not going to embrace that, but I know what it is.
Oh, got you. So let me ask you, Tori, have you ever dated somebody off of strictly personality, charm, or whatever the case may be?
No, because so me, I'm the type of person I just need more, so I get bored very easily with someone, you know, just in a general sense, like, because I kind of like want more out of a potential relationship, so no. Because like after you've dated enough assholes and stuff like that, you are over all that.
What's an asshole?
Yeah,
you know, like if you know, I know when people say
that's real.
But like, it could be an asshole.
Okay. So what I'm saying is like, you know, fuckboys, like, you know, just the nonsense,
Do you think you could sense that in the beginning?
No, I mean sometimes yeah, but not all the time. Like,
So alright, so let me ask you this. I mean, you just said sometimes yeah. So when you say alright, I'm an entertainer.
I'm about to say you still entertaining.
It depends because if I'm in the mood, if I feel like having you around, that's kind of like what you become. Like you, it's just like when I kind of want you around.
How dare you? But
That is a fuck girl. It's a fuck girl. It's a fuck girl.
I was gonna say that. That's a little fuck girl. But you know, I'm not with you, so we gonna let you know.
Okay. How dare you? But I like that.
I respect it. You gotta respect it.
Because at that point it's mutual. I'm not taking advantage of this person. You know what I'm saying?
Why
I
you
know this
testing
person
it
doesn't
out?
really.
Yeah, I know. I completely get it. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, it's communication in the mix. And,
Right.
you know, this person understands where you stand, and vice versa, it got no problem. You know
And
what
I
I'm
know that, and it's like, I wouldn't do this to someone who I know cares about me. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't take advantage of anything like that.
So how can, that's funny that you said that. How can people balance when feelings get involved when it doesn't mean it start off innocent, fun, and great. And we have our attentions. And I understand, like I said, communication is always the key, but sometimes your feelings overwhelm and it just be that way. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. I get all that. But how can if one person's not on the same page and the other person is still on that same mentality, like this is how we met, this is why I like to make it be, and the other person's feeling some way, is it that other person's responsibility to try to even let that person go or rock with it, and hopefully you develop what they develop? Because some people let it linger, that person's still gaining more feelings. It's not fair to that person. They get flustered, overwhelmed, the anxiety's kicking in, and then it's all about, why you don't love me the way I love you? You know what I'm saying? And they're like, damn, I told you I like you, and this is what it was. And you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying it's your fault that you felt that way because your feelings who you are, and the person, obviously, the chemistry is great. But it's doing a justice for that person to let that person hold on to. Even though the sex is great, the company is great, the conversation, whatever it may be. I think you still have to cut the cord if it can't be that way.
Yeah, that's the hard part, though.
So that's what I'm saying. When do people know when to let that go? Because people get comfortable. You're comfortable because now you have a routine with this person.
I think it's laziness.
And that's the cord. You have to understand that there's a cord. There's an attachment there, right? So feelings is inevitable. Connection is inevitable.
Of course.
Now, needs and wants are a little different, but we still got something there. If I see you down the street, checking for something else, I'm gonna feel some kind of way. I may not, but this is what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of hard to have those kinds of arrangements and not think that some feelings or something is going to come out of that.
But do you think that's, like he was saying earlier, do you think that's from comfortability?
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
And how would you go about not letting comfortability trump how you really feel so you can move on and date correctly?
I think it's communication. Personally, like, I'm big on communication.
Okay.
Being very clear on like how you feel about the person, or say if I'm dating a guy and I probably like him a little bit more than he seems to like me, because I feel like men do definitely suppress their emotions, like being open about their emotions, but a lot less than women do typically. So I think communication and really being clear on how you feel about the person.
Is this the new era, man?
Oh, I think it depends on the gender.
I'm about to say,
I
don't know. Yeah, I think communication is a huge part of that, but not everybody is willing to do that. Okay. And I think that's where a lot of
because I heard that. Speak your piece, woman.
I'm just listening and just thinking back to like when I've just dated someone based off of looks and personality, and then I was the person who had the feelings more, or they were dating me because of looks and personalities, and they had feelings and I did. So I'm just listening. I'm just like, just reflecting on my younger years of dating and like the mistakes that I've made and not communicating.
Okay.
Dated someone who was like big, tall, 6'4" person because he looked great energy, but I wasn't able to communicate for myself at the time that like, hey, I like you. I'm getting feelings for you. When you walk away from me, we're on the street and you're presenting yourself out to other women because they're approaching your way. You're using your attractiveness to get other women when we're together. So I'm just thinking about those moments when we're talking, and I'm hearing talk about that big word, communication. That's a huge word for me. And I'm just like, that's something that wasn't taught when we're younger, is that communicate in relationships. You know, communication is something that we've learned to hold in because we just try to go off of vibes. And so I just think that's something that we need to teach younger kids now when they're in relationships about communication. Like, yeah, you look great. You look attractive. This is what I want. This is what I don't want.
That's interesting because I think how I was raised with my mom and, you know, my parents or whatever, they always communicated with me. So I think that played an effect to my dating life because of how, you know, my mom, she would express like, she was the type, I'll wake up and I come in, brush your teeth. Like, she's straight up. So, and we always been like that. Whereas to the point where I could come in and be like, y'all see my fit? If you don't take your, I mean, she won't say take your ass, but she just go back in the back and switch up, you know what I'm saying? Like, she'll keep it all the way a buck with me. So I took that to be like, you know what? I got to keep it real. I got to put everything out on Front Street. But that sometimes it was lopsided. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, like, I feel like sometimes I was over communicating, even though I probably was communicating at a good level, but when they're not communicating back, it's looking like I'm trying to force the issue. Right. You know what I'm saying? And
man, communication, like, it gets deeper than just saying like how you feel, right? You just communicating with the other person. It's about like how they receive it too, right? Just like before we got to the point where we were married, like, yeah, we communicate, we talk, but I think I'm communicating one way and she thinks she's communicating one way, but we're like still like missing each other. You know what I'm saying? And we're speaking our truth, and it doesn't always come out the right way. So I think with communication, especially when you're married, that shit evolves. Like, you got to be able to learn each other, learn how they receive things, learn how to say things to them. Like, it's cool because things get better and better and better the more you can communicate. But you're always going to find yourself in different situations where, okay, I could have did this shit better, or she could have did this shit better. You know what I'm saying? And we got to come back to it. You know, that shit don't end. You know.
That's right. It's always a working process.
Right. I think the main thing is that, you know, you're married, you're locked in, so it's not like I can just dead this communication forever. Like, I still got to see this person. You know, but one thing I learned as a therapist, you know, is that communication has so many different layers, right? Like, you know, if we've got emotions, if we've got anger, if we've got resentment, all of those things is going to determine how you're going to communicate. You know, so this is how, you know, I agree with like, Omar, you miss the mark sometimes, you know, because your emotions is all involved in it. You know, you forget who you're talking to and you flash it back to somebody who hurt you 20 years ago. So, you know, I think, you know, communication is healthy, but I think it's even more healthier to kind of learn yourself and how you communicate. You know, like, you know, do you shut down? Do you, you know, open up? You know, are you afraid to be vulnerable? You know, let this person know how you feel, because a lot of that is going to determine how you're going to communicate and how you're going to resolve problems too, you know, in relationships.
And they also actually end relationships because you don't over communicate enough. You know what I'm saying? I am a person that was married, and you know, my communication with me and with that person at the time sucks. I think we, you know, when we have arguments and stuff that transpired, we let it linger. And then you let it linger to the next into the next argument, and it builds up even more. And I think when we do decide to let it speak our mind on it, we still don't hit the particular points of the topic. You know what I'm saying? I think we dance around it. And I think I was a victim of that as you know, I was a person that did that at different circumstances. I think it's kind of intimidating sometimes when you try to let your emotions out and trying to communicate that with your significant other, because you don't want to let that significant other down, but at the same time you're still letting them down because you're not expressing.
Exactly, and that's real.
You gotta rip the Band-Aid no matter what.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it is always it's a learning situation every day. You know what I'm saying? When you just, like as we say, when you locked into it. I think in my circumstances, I think, you know, it got so bad and it got so outsourced. It just wasn't perishable to make it what it is. So, but I mean, like, learning from being married for quite some time. I was 7.5 years in. You get to have a restart and refresh of how you see things in a different lens. I think you grow at that person, and you know, and hope that that person grow as well, and not be scarred, or not say scarred, but upset, or not use that or take it out on the next particular person, or and same with myself. I think you always have to be open no matter what, I think that's part of growing and growth. And I shout anybody out when they are big and they love to communicate, because it's, to me, it's a turn on. I love it. I love to talking shit. There's all types of communication.
No, that's right.
You know what I mean? People don't understand, like, damn, why we gotta talk about this? No, let's talk about this.
Yeah,
but it's all different levels to it. And I think people, if you rocking with that person, it's up to you guys to build that foundation, how to make it fun and make it work, and understand if it's a serious matter, how to address it in a way that we both understand it, how to articulate it, but still not be overzealous or hateful. Or, you know what I'm saying, bringing that to the next phase of communicating. So it's a lot. I mean, it's overwhelming for someone that's single, someone's dating, someone's married, someone that's just talking to themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's a crazy situation. But I think the long people practice it and the people embrace it, I think that's where, you know, your growth kicks in. But, you know, it's the long haul. That's all I got it is. Like, it's an investment. And then, like, you better in yourself, and you also better in that person, because even if you walk away from it, at least you know you gain value from that, and you'll be able to add value for that other person as well. So, yeah, let's get the fucking move on from this bullshit.
You on your game today?
D-boy, you're my A-game. Used to kick doors, used to gang bang. When I was a neighbor, shit, I slang cane. Yeah, I'm still a rider, I just changed lanes. See, I come from where you can't hang. Caught a felony, cause I ain't sane. Gotta mangle niggas just to maintain. These boys ain't hard, they just claim game. Shit you trying to do, I already did it. Used to starting beef, I'm trying to start a business. Building with my queen, you arguing with bitches. You ain't even chill enough to know the difference. So I fuck with y'all from a distance. Tag me in and mention, you might come up missing. Send my young G's out on a mission. Haters get the tripping, homies catch them slipping. Martin Luther with the dream, Huey Newton with the team, Marcus Garvey with the scheme, Malcolm X by any means, Big Meech with triple beams, Tookie Williams in my streets, Larry Davis with the heat, going pop on the beats, Martin Luther with the dream, Huey Newton with the team, Marcus Garvey with the scheme, Malcolm X by any means, Big Meech with triple beams, Tookie Williams in my streets, Larry Davis with the heat, going pop in the beats. Yeah, I'm gangster, but I'm still conscious, so I know better, but I'm still about it. I ain't getting younger, but I still gotta pull up on my G's, kicking real knowledge. Wanna see my little homies in college, out there trying to get it, so my kids got it. Can't just talk it, gotta live by it. This ain't nothing new, boy, I been solid. I still want a nigga dead. Hoes still trying to get my bread. 12 still want me in the fed, but I'm still trying to keep my people fed. Still got folk dependent on me, so I keep that extended on me. So if you want it, you can get it, homie. Rather die a G than to live a phony. Martin Luther with the dream, Huey Newton with